I want to welcome eDelta up. eDelta is one of our newest system integrator partners. And Ken and John, who are both managing partners of the firm, will be doing a talk. But a little about eDelta, these guys are real pros in enterprise risk management, internal audit, compliance, IT government, and business continuity planning. And so a lot of items that have a lot of process elements built into them. And these guys come in and do these pretty big projects to protect a lot of manufacturing, financial services, and other companies around these areas of expertise. And we were really pleased when they came on board to become partners so that they could begin integrating Bonita into their unique process for solving some of these process problems. So Ken and John, really great to have you guys here. Thanks very much.
I want to thank everyone for their time today. My name is John Bosco. I'm a managing partner of the New York office of eDelta Consulting. We've been around for 13 years. I'm a former E&Y senior manager, left there sometime 2000, and we've been pretty much together for that period of time. This is Ken Winford. He's a managing partner at Bermuda, so much nicer weather down there today, I'm sure, for the most part. We have two locations primarily, Bermuda and New York. It's really, it's a pretty good location to be in Bermuda because you can get to the sea levels. Here it's a little more difficult, So you get to socialize in Bermuda with the sea levels, and here you have to beg to get in the door for the most part. About eDelta Consulting primarily is focused on governance, risk, and compliance. We really started pre-Sarbanes-Oxley, as everyone can appreciate, right at the internet bubble sometime in early 2000. Survived the internet bubble and went right into the last 10 years, which has been pretty fruitful on the compliance side, starting with Sarbanes-Oxley. Sarbanes-Oxley in 2002, I know companies had to, for the most part, comply with the rules, 2004 or so forth. Really started off documenting processes. Going through, I can't imagine how many clients and how many processes that we've documented both in a narrative form as well as a flowchart form, only to realize for the most part several years later that documentation either sat on someone's shelf or was infrequently updated for the most part. But that's where it started, and I could see the amount of time and effort and the amount of resources that companies have spent really documenting things that perhaps didn't necessarily add value. Other than, obviously, compliance is value. I'm not going to diminish that, but for the most part, it was a significant investment that was made. 6 years ago, one of our clients, one of the biggest commodities exchanges in the world, implemented their first BPM solution, and it really significantly enabled, as Clay had mentioned before, extending the life of applications, creating a lot more transparency in the process. Now you could take everything that I did in 2002 to 2005 via Visio and Word documents. And you could see that the culmination of that work really lent itself to the BPM space, the process module or models that could be built within an application. And you could see transparency, and you can see things that break. And you can see what was the most difficult thing is who's responsible for what, because it gets completely evident when it's there and the application is flowing in that fashion. That was probably we've serviced probably close to 250 companies in the Northeast. I really want to say that was in the 10 years from 2002 to 2011 to 12. I was probably the only company that actually had the wherewithal to implement a BPM solution and then integrate it within their Sarbanes-Oxley compliance mandates. Having seen it in 2006 and bringing that to an island of 21 square miles, 60,000 people, and about 2,500 to 3,000 companies, you need to have process efficiency. And so Ken and I, over the last 6 years, have been trying to build the culture and the awareness within Bermuda to leverage this platform. And now we're really rolling it out, what we've done in Bermuda, to what we see to be a big bubble in the States. Because I see there's a want, completely. There's a will to have this done. Having gone through the 2009 recession in the financial service industry, individuals weren't getting training, nevertheless making investments in BPM solutions. But you can see there's a significant increased investment and embedding compliance processes within some level of automation. Coming from the audit side, we provide a lot of internal audit co-sourcing, and dealing with the distributed ancillary systems is a challenge, to say the least. I can't imagine, I have all the full empathy as Clay had mentioned to the user having to audit some of these systems. So we're seeing, at least from eDelta's perspective in the financial service industry, a real interest in building these use cases for integrating compliance solutions. I know that Ken had mentioned earlier about anti-money laundering, KYC, client onboarding processes. You can see that there's a significant benefit in today's world to build BPM in that arena. Now you're talking about FCPA, corruption, the financial crimes, and so forth. There's definitely an initiative to kind of wrap BPM into those compliance initiatives, FATCA, and some of the other things that your companies might be embarking on. Obviously, I want to say onboarding in general, because a lot of companies have a lot of difficulties with just onboarding employees to systems, and there's definitely use cases for BPM in that space. But I like to, and having been exposed to this in 2006, my brain is completely embedded in how to improve process, how to enable people, and how to extend the life of existing systems, or improve, or get off the loads of those platforms. And to some degree, I know that SharePoint is moving towards some level of BPM, but moving from the document management systems from Lotus Notes to a BPM solutions like Bonitasoft. So this partnership that is one that I'm very excited about, because I could see there being a lot of opportunity and in discussion with our clients, a lot of initiative to make this happen. So I want to lead to Ken here, and he's going to, for the most part, talk about we have several proof of concepts currently going on in Bermuda, but the methodology that we're deploying in our proof of concepts as it relates to Bonitasoft and best practice.
Thank you, John. Thank you, everybody. Yes, flew in yesterday from Bermuda, and it was very cold. A big difference, totally. And you notice I've got the triangle up here, just trying to symbolize the Bermuda Triangle. Obviously, it'll play on words, but also our partnerships and taking advantage of BPM and Bonitasoft as an option. What we've done with using Bonitasoft, obviously, but with our partners, is that we're starting to influence or move the Bermuda market towards BPM solutioning. So just for some of you that aren't familiar with Bermuda in itself, it's considered one of the financial capitals of the world. It's also noted as one of the reinsurance capitals of the world. There are up to 300 different types of reinsurance and insurance companies in Bermuda. And the reach that that country has in itself is massive around the world. Some companies have 38 to 40 different jurisdictional offices and locations globally, and also they interface with the governments and interface with the insurance companies and the rest globally. So one of our local partners that we have is called BAS. BAS Group is made up of 10 different companies, and this is one of our integration services type partners. So they handle the hardware side of the house, they handle the technical solutioning and provisioning on that side. Our newer partner coming on board soon is a specialty group company, works at the CX level in around business solution delivery and business automation, insourcing automated services, or taking on services from some of the larger insurance and reinsurance and banking companies. So we got looking at this, we have the Bermuda, Caribbean, UK connection through BAS Group. We have the North American, Bermuda, Caribbean connection through eDelta. And lastly, into Bermuda and the UK through our new partnership that we're in the works on that one now. what we've done with the BAS group, we're very fortunate in this, is that we launched a POC using Bonitasoft to develop a service desk application for them. We did this in a phased approach, and we talk about compliance, we talk about delivery, we talk about methodology, and limiting risk. Well, all the different risk items that John mentioned, through our back office and our understanding of risk management, control objectives, points, and auditability, we're building and aware of those things to build into our BPM solutions. In this case with BAS, we're developing a service desk platform for the entire company. We've broken this up through phases, obviously using project management methodology, traditional project management methodology, but project governance and project delivery solutioning. So the whole thing is we have lots of ideas, we have lots of opportunities, as Clay mentioned, as you guys are aware. The problem is taking those ideas, instead from an agile, from a rapid development, from taking thoughts and ideas and concepts and getting them to done. And how do we get there? Many times we get to a certain point, we fail. We go too far, we've lost the requirements. It's gone from 0 to hero, and the time frame's been blown. What I'm hearing sometimes in BPM world is everything gets done quickly, it's agile, it's rapid, but we still have to control and concentrate on methodology for delivery, keep those controls in place, and put some traditional project governance or project delivery methodology in place to drive that to success. We can use agile project delivery, we can use rapid development, but we still have to concentrate on the base mechanisms of controls and compliance needs and to limit risk for the delivery. So what we've done with the BAS group, using Bonitasoft, formulated the ideas, formulated the solutions, gathered the specifications. Our end state at the end is going to be one service desk using one platform for those 10 companies that are managed under the BAS group. Okay, about 300 employees. They'll be able to log on, open a ticket, conditional based on the company, collect specific needs, and interface with multiple back-end products or applications that they have to update cases, to measure resolution of the cases, and also be able to escalate those based on each company's independent escalation needs and requirements based on the severity or the need for the case. Very interesting. If we went and used multiple, out-of-the-box applications for Bermuda's need, it would be less flexible for us to then, we'd end up having to do customization or maintenance or some fixes, which long term we wouldn't have that control. It would just get very costly and very lengthy. So phase 1, we actually finished this. It only took a few weeks to complete, but we built what would be considered the base for the ticketing system. It was a POC for the CCS component. We did a read from GP, identified the data elements, populated it, got the client information into the ticket. As Francois showed earlier, it's quite dynamic. Right, execute the POC, and now we're actually in phase 2. Phase 2 is going to be for BAS as well, but we're going to put in the full escalation, the mobile device, and then the read-write to GP. So imagine as a small integration company, as we are, we work with BAS Group. They go out to a client's site to fix a router, a switch, someone's house is broken into, or whatever it might be because there's Otis elevators, whole mishmash that makes up those 10 companies. They go out with a handheld device, and they go out and they say they've resolved the ticket, they accept the ticket, resolve the ticket, put the details in, and they record the amount of time that they're on site working on the problem, just like ordering your plane ticket. Resolved, done, within a minute, we are now sending emails to the executives that approve this, updating GP, and it's showing up on their invoices, all with the reference case number and the rest of it. For us as a team, what that allows us to do as an integration service using Bonitasoft, it allows us the opportunity to use that as a sales opportunity. Right? This is what we're showing you through our mobile device. This is how we do it. Can we show you, and how can we show that, or make that into a potential sale opportunity to extend BPM into your thing? And what methodologies and what controls and what things are you putting in place to try to limit the risk of getting to done? The next phase, phase 3, we're actually starting the specs on this, is all 10 companies using the same platform, but we're going to be interfacing with 5 different financial applications. So we're in the requirements phase right now, part of the initiation phase in project delivery, defining the scope, the specifications, the budget, and the rest of it, and then we'll move that through the methodology that I'll get into later. The exciting part is we've demoed the POC to other clients in Bermuda. And from an SI perspective, we've got clients now wanting to get on the platform and extend the same use out to them as a call center service. So again, it's a case thing, same platform, but we've got other clients coming on. We have a 24/7 service desk there, but we've got clients coming in and also extends that as a potential opportunity for sales and delivery of a BPM, or extend the reference, or what can I say this, the exposure of BPM into the Bermuda market. But lastly, all that's very nice, but without controls, without mechanisms to control delivery, getting an idea to done is very challenging. We have to concentrate, and we're very committed to this, is concentrating on methodology, concentrating on project governance, on intake management, an integrated roadmap, and also project delivery methodology, the traditional PMI type methodology. Again, methodology, why? Because step by step, similar to BPM. Start with A, go to B, C and D simultaneously, go on to E, and maybe get to F and move down the line. But by putting together, just a common methodology, a common language, common approach, for us, it keeps it consistent, it keeps it manageable, keeps it measurable, but also instills confidence into our clients that actually we're managing this effectively, and we can give them effective reporting, and we're following a methodology that also speaks to our confidence in being able to deliver BPM as an integration company. Imagine being an integration company selling BPM that actually didn't use a process. Wouldn't be very effective, right? So just from a high level, from a project portfolio management perspective, from top down, some companies, and this is one of my stronger points as far as project delivery, is a project management committee in many organizations. Which projects are we going to work on? Where does it fit in our strategy? And the rest of it. Sometimes a PMO office or a mixture of project managers sitting within an organization simulating a PMO office, and then back into project delivery. Traditional intake management, I'll get into in a minute, initiation, planning, execution, and closure. What I see here, though, and this is noted with a new client that we have coming on board very soon, very large client in Bermuda, and we're very excited about this possibility, is they've recognized, as John mentioned, is that their static Visio charts and flows and everything bring no business value. Right? What we plan to do with them is, through the project management life cycles, identification of the as-is state, the current state. And then, as Clay mentioned, where do you want to go? What do you want the experience to be? What do you want the end product? What do you want the vision to be? And then, through that gap analysis, we'll create the scope document to drive the plan, to drive the budget, to drive the rest. Well, the future here, back here, is the future state is the use of the BPM documentation. It's self-documenting. You make a change to it. It's auditable. It has your control points, your data access points. All your referenceable information from a data perspective is all captured within the application, as opposed to your static Visio diagram you hand over to your auditor or a compliance person, then it has to go through boxes of information to try to track the flow of the use of the application or the delivery of the transaction. Lastly, it can interface with SharePoint or any other type of document management type system, and that's that. So intake management, again, we use that as, does it make sense for an organization to be wanting to do this? Does it fit the strategic direction? Is it cost effective? Does it warrant the attention that is going to be needed to implement, and is going to bring the organization value? It's just an assessment. From there, we use this tool called an integrated roadmap. That's your snapshot, it's your picture of all the different types of projects. So for example, at BAS, going into next year, we're going to have 20 applications already. We've got 20 applications already roadmapped out for that one company that's going to be spread over those 10. Client or staff onboard, offboarding, vendor management, setting a VMO cycle for them. tracking inventory and parts, contracts, a whole bunch of different things. About 20 different applications we're working on there. We have other clients coming on board. So if we didn't have an integrated roadmap to show them what their forecast of the projects look like and what's in the pipeline, it makes it very difficult to tell them with accuracy, where they are in the pipeline and what the next steps are, or any issues from a red, amber, green perspective, status, budget, and/or resource allocation. And last, project delivery. Obviously, good old quality triangle. How much do you want to spend? How much, how well do you want it built? Do you need a Rolls Royce? Can you get something to market quick? And then add on to it an iterative approach. One of the things we recommend from our side is get it in the hands of your clients, get them using it, learn from their experience, listen to them, get that information back, and then adapt as you go out. If you wait, like a waterfall technique, if you wait to get to perfection, well, you've already lost your BPM investment, right? What we found is you get it out there, get them using it, get some adoption, get some ownership, and then you'll get the information back from the users, and then you can start to tailor it phase by phase. So an iterative approach. And lastly, how long do you go before you go live? Go live as quickly as you can and use an iterative approach to get it out there and get it socialized or get it used by the business, and they'll learn from there. And project delivery, again, initiation, planning, execution. Taking the abstract, taking the unknown, taking the ideas and the opportunities, using a methodology in a controlled thing, using a tool like BPM, getting ideas and opportunities to market quickly, but in a controlled, risk-limited fashion. So that would be it, guys.
Excellent.
You waiting for questions, or?
You got a couple minutes for questions. Sure. Go.
I have two questions.
Sure.
One is related to the challenges for integration of this system in terms of security challenges.
Right.
So, in particular, the workflow that unifies this engine has to work on behalf of users to connect the different systems. And how do you approach that? Is it like?
So specifically at this point, we haven't written any systems that go out to our external facing. So this particular one's all internal facing, and any of the personnel that are using it, we tie it into LDAP, we tie it into security logon, and the rest of it. This all internal at this point. We haven't written any of the external ones yet.
Okay, understand the user interaction,
Yeah.
the Kerberos, the LDAP, but once you have multiple integration points, any service, this Bonita or the workflow engine, after something is done, it has to go on behalf of the user, do something to another system. Let's say go log to Salesforce for that. So, and then it becomes like, it has to be like admin access to most of this thing to work on behalf. It says, this person says that. So yes. How do we solve this challenge? Are the people okay with that?
I'm looking forward to learning how to solve it, but what we've done in the case of this application, working with our Great Plains service provider, we identified the particular data elements that we wanted. We ensure that we have read-write access, that the people that are working on, who have access to the application have the right authorization level to get to that information, and we authorize the Bonitasoft application to be able to read and write to it. As far as extended use, I don't have an answer for you on that. Sorry.
The second question is about, you mentioned toward the ends, I was waiting to see where would be, you're talking about project management, which is bringing it out to the first instance of the process. But process is all about change management. As you mentioned, things are going to iterate.
That is fantastic.
So
yes.
that would be like product management. So the vision and everything is not just let's get it out there.
Right.
There should be like the committee and everything. Like I said, the vision for the product and everything is not just something to.
So I could have extended it into change management from an organizational or social perspective. Right? I tried to keep it just on one segment. Obviously, through measurements and metrics, as Clay had mentioned, who's doing what and seeing what, and what the user experience is, what the abandonment rates are, and the rest of it, we would take that in and use those KPIs, obviously, as opportunities, right, to enhance or influence change, right? But as far as change management, we actually do the user documentation, the reference material, and the rest of it. We train our users on that as we put the applications out. From a controlled IT change perspective, we actually use change records and a change system to record those changes before we put them into production. So we do extend past the closure or past the implementation phase, right, or execution implementation into project closure and then review and measurement. I can only catch so much on a couple slides. Thank you. Is that it?
Just to see if I understood this correctly. You've built the system as an application hosted by you, and you're selling it as a service?
Yes. Yeah. It's hosted on a private cloud in Bermuda. Mm-hmm. We host the Bonitasoft application in Bermuda, right? And we'll be selling it off in slices and dices to potential external clients, or using the same application and reselling it with automation or customizations and automation that they need to interface with their legacy or back office systems. But it would be the base that we would drive from.
For each new client, you are provisioning basically a new instance of the solution, or is it a single application?
It depends on if the client wants to use the instance that that CCS or BAS will be hosting. We put on another layer or another screen for that particular. We have a security company, a home security company, are looking at using this. So basically then we put them in the drop-down box and change some of the information on the screen dynamically based on that call being related to, or email coming in, being related to the home security company.
Gotcha.
Or if it was the government's lighting system for the streets or whatever came in, then we would change the context of the information on the screen, but it would still be that one ticketing system. All the same data would go in the same database. Or we could take the ticketing system and break off another instance of it, another tenant within it, and then duplicate that and then customize that application. The whole idea is getting a story to be able to tell our clients, to show them a use case, but to show them something that our sales team can speak to, but show them something that they can use every day. So they use it, they sign off on the invoice on their iPad or whatever, or email or mobile device. They automatically get an email that is updated from Great Plains, telling them the value of that service call and the rest of it, and whether the SLA, SLO, and the rest of it were met, and any follow-up questions and survey and the rest of it. So, you're welcome.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
That was very nice.